Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest's time for a week 4 update to my momentum sentiment portfolio. I really should give that a different name, sort of a shorter name. It's always have to look at it to make sure I say it in the right order. But anyway, my momentum sentiment portfolio, this is a week 4 update, and overall the market was fairly flat this week. I think the XJO, if I just had a brief look at it, was just up a little bit. And so the main thing I want to see is my portfolio outperform the market, and we'll get into that in a second. So for those who don't know what my momentum sentiment portfolio is, this is a strategy I developed in 2013. I used it quite infrequent since then, but I've started using a little bit more over the past year. And so I developed this portfolio that uses this strategy, and I began this in August of this year. And BlueScope was the first company I bought in using this strategy. And funnily enough, BlueScope is a company I'm thinking of maybe selling out and taking profits. And I'll get into that in a moment or two. So the whole point of this is to beat the market and ideally double the market returns. If I can't beat the market, there's no point investing or sort of stock picking anyway. And if I can't beat the market, just put my money into ETFs. Idle week again, just like last week, so I didn't make any purchases, but I've thought about it, and in the end, there's no harm not making any purchases, especially when the week is fairly flat on the market overall. So the last acquisitions I did make were a few weeks ago, and they were SG Fleet and Mosaic Brands. Mosaic Brands, it was one of those situations where I thought I might regret buying into it. I still think there's a lot of risk, and I am thinking of taking profits, even though it's fairly small profits, just because I think there are risks associated with Mosaic Brands. And I did go into the reasons behind that in one of my videos, just because their current liabilities are double their current assets at the moment, which does make me a little bit nervous. But anyway, so no purchases this week, so nothing really to talk about in that regard. And this is just the update in regards to the portfolio's performance in week 4. So up the top there is the current week, and on the bottom is the previous week. So the percentage change went from 16%, just over 16% to 16.7. So it was positive this week, and the main reasons it was positive were 2 reasons. Michael Hill Jewelers had a good announcement this week, and Mosaic Brands, funny enough, the company that I'm probably the most nervous about, had a good up week too, going from 86 cents to 90.5. One point it was up to 96 cents. So all the other companies, except maybe SG Fleet, was a slight positive. Many of the other companies were a slight negative. So let's get into looking at some of the companies. So SG Fleet, no announcements this week, fairly flat. So last week price was $2.31, up 1 cent to $2.32. Bit of volatility in the price. So it was as high as $2.43. You can see the chart on the left. It's in a really good uptrend right now. And I'm fairly bullish about the long-term viability of these leasing sort of companies, SG Fleet, Eclipse, Macmillan Shakespeare, Smart Group, all those companies, because I think I've already mentioned this before. I think there is going to be consolidation within this sector. There's about 10 players in Australia right now. And I think, just like we saw in telecommunications about 7 or 8 years ago, there's going to be consolidation, some mergers and acquisitions, and I think some of the companies will definitely benefit from that. So that's one of the reasons I am holding SG Fleet. And the other reason, of course, is it's in a good uptrend right now. It's fairly cheap too. Mosaic Brands, this is the company I'm really nervous about, but I can't really fault the looking of the chart. Good share price action, so I bought it at 80 cents just because there was a bit of weakness, and it's been going up since then. Around 90 cents is a good level of support, so hopefully it remains above 90 cents for now. You can see the previous high in the start of November got to 90 cents and then fell away, so a bit of selling there. It's gone back up, and it's gone through 90 cents, so 90 cents was a resistance level. It's gone through 90 cents now, so hopefully 90 cents can become a bit of support as this moves higher. I have thought about potentially taking profits with Mosaic Brands just because I am nervous, and I really don't want to have any sort of any holdings within this portfolio that make me nervous. BlueScope Steel, this is another company I am thinking about selling. It's had a very good run since when I bought it at $12.34. So this is a weekly chart that goes back 10 years. As you can see, really good buying opportunities in 2012 and 2015, where the share price was about $2 or around $3 or so. But the share price has gone through a good, from the lows in March this year, which were about $8. It's doubled in price, it's got to about $18, which was a previous high in 2018. You can go all the way back 10 years or so, and this is at the 10-year high now, which in itself is potentially a positive. It can also be a negative, especially if this is the double top. But if it pushes through 18 on good volume, that would suggest that there is some good momentum behind the company. Now, the fact that it is a near 10-year high just makes me think the possibilities of selling. But this is one little time perspective. If I go back further in time, which I did in the next slide, so if I go back to this is about 20 years or so, we can see the share price reached $50 in 2008. So a different time perspective, different time frame gives you a different perspective. But I've got there perhaps. So $50, so you can think maybe that's all-time high, and maybe has potential to get there. But when you look at the shares on issue in 2008, it was only 170 million. Now it's 500 million. So it's almost tripled in shares on issue, which actually means that if you take the market cap or the shares on issue at $50 in 2008, the market cap is 800 million, which is almost identical to the market cap now with the share price of $17, with the shares on issue doubling. Just means the market cap is almost identical to 2008. So even though the share price is, significantly lower, just the amount of shares on issue has increased substantially enough that there's very similar market cap. So even though it's not nowhere near the all-time high in the share price, it's almost the near all-time high in the market cap. And that's another reason I am thinking of maybe selling out, taking some profits. But you never know. This company could go on a long-term bull run if things go right for them. South 32. So I bought South 32 at $2.23, and this is way back. So that horizontal blue line is a good price of resistance. So we hit it about 4 times, close to 5 or 6 times, and always fell away from that. I bought this a little bit too soon, but I remained patient. And then in early, mid-November, it broke through that price resistance on a really good volume, which I've marked there, and the share price has been going up since. So a really good uptrend developing right now. So this is the company that I'll just keep on holding. Over last week, share price has gone down a little bit. And you can see the week high and week low. There's not much volatility there, only 13 cents difference between the two, but it finished near the week low. But a bit of a spinning top there on the daily candlestick chart there. So spinning top just means there's sort of an indecision between the bulls and the bears, or you can say the bulls and the bears are sort of in equal weight in terms of fighting, and share price isn't doing anything in the last day. Costa Groups, I bought this because of a really good half yearly in August, so remaining steady with this. The share price fell below about, say, 380 to 390, definitely below 380. That would be a sort of a sell signal for me, so technical sell signal. I'm hoping it could sort of burst through $4.10. If it bursts through $4.10, that would be very bullish. Got to $4.09 as a high this week, and as a low $3.93. So current price of $4.01 is right in the middle of that weekly high and weekly low. So again, not much action with Costa Group this week, remaining just above $4, but I'm fairly bullish about the Costa Group for the long term at this moment. Red River Resources is another company that I do have a sell signal at 25 cents, and it got right on that sell signal this week at the low, and then did bounce off it quite well. So that was a good positive sign that 25 was a good price of support. And a week high was 29.5. So this is another company that I was thinking of putting into my other portfolio, my long-term growth portfolio. But I think just the fact that there's a lot of negative sentiment around management about what they've done in the past, the performance in the past, And I'm just going to wait to see the next quarterly cash flow to see if they've maintained the performance they had in the previous quarter. And if they can maintain that performance, this would be fairly cheap at the current prices. Empire Energy, this is another company where I thought maybe it should be in my other portfolio. I originally bought this on a bit of a technical signal, and the more I look into this company, it's more suited to my long-term growth portfolio just because of what they do. So bought this at 36.5, current price is 37, so it really hasn't done anything in about the last, I think I bought this about 2 months ago, so it's gone sideways in 2 months. And I've just bought a trading range there. There's two horizontal lines. Just the share price seems to be trading in between those two. When it got to about 35 cents, the low was 34 cents, it just bounced off that really well this week. And whenever it gets to around about 42, 43 cents, it bounces lower after hitting that. So keep an eye on this, and it's potential, I won't sell this, but a potential I might just transfer this to my other portfolio. And now we get to the exciting stock for this week, Michael Hill Jewelers. They had a really good trading update in the middle of October, and that gave me the impetus to buy into Michael Hill. It took me a while to buy in. I remained patient, but you can see the share price just consolidated for over a month between about 50 and 55 cents, and that was what I bought, right smack in the middle of that, 52.5 cents. And then it just didn't do anything. As soon as I bought it, just remained in that consolidation range. Anytime it fell below 50 cents, you can see there was some good buying and didn't really go above 55 cents until we had this strong first quarter positive trend continued trading update on the 9th of December. So that was toward the start of the week. Actually, that wasn't the start. That's on Thursday. Is that right? Yeah, Thursday. And then we saw really good share price action. Share price rose 17%. And then the next day on Friday, we only saw the share price drop by 3%. Better volume on the Thursday. So that's, even though I've been concerned about the low amount of volume, especially when we saw the positive trading update in October, we did see a bit higher volume on this day. So I'm still quite bullish with Michael Hill and think this could be a very long-term play. It's one of those companies that if they do get any tailwinds, they could see some tailwinds continuing, especially because they're in jewelry. You'd think there's a lot of sort of, say, weddings, that sort of thing have been postponed. Maybe lots of wedding rings buying has been postponed due to COVID-19. So maybe they'll get an uplift and that sort of thing. So fairly positive. They do have operations in Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. I'm not sure about their possibility of them expanding into other countries, but they have, the positive update was fairly positive in all three countries. So the other company last week, I was talking about SRG Global, which I was very close to buying because of a positive update. So they gave that positive update on the December the 1st, revised guidance. And on December the 4th, Director Peter Brecht purchased $100,000 or 250,000 shares on market at 40 cents. And that 40 cents seems to be a good price of support, good price to buy in. So last week, the share price finished at 43 cents. This week, it finished around 41.5. So just consolidating between and just came back to 40 cents and been consolidating the last week. Some good volume in the last, since the trading update. So still thinking about buying this. I'm going to do a little bit more research into this company because the EBITDA they're forecasting is well above the market cap of the company. So potential cheap play, this one. But I'm still going to do a little bit more research. I'm no rush to buy this at the moment. So that's all for with a week update, or week 4 update to my momentum sentiment portfolio. Hope you've enjoyed this video. And that's all for this week. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. So if you need any financial advice for your own financial circumstances, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can talk to you about your own financial circumstances. That's all for today. Have a good day. Bye. See you later.